And you're muted. And Creighton died.
Ah, I'm muted again. Gosh darn it. Of course, Grant, you'll be sleeping. I'll probably be getting less sleep. I'll be in Colorado fighting off bears with a sharpened stick like the opening cinematic for World of Warcraft, Mists of Pandaria. But all the same, it's going to be a great day, but I'm not going to give 90%. I'm not going to give 95%, Grant. I'm going to give 100% on this last series of the day. I imagine we're already in game. Let's intro our players.
First of all, I need more than 100 from you. I need like 180 from you so I can do 20.
Done, Grant. Happy to give 180% here for this single series.
Our first player in the bottom left, representing the Shopify Rebellion. She is the Canadian Zerg player. It is Scarlett.
And in the top right-hand side, in the blue, representing Canada, he is, of course, Alpha X's Protoss player, TriGGeR.
TriGGeR. Okay.
I can't. We're going to DMCA if I do that.
So let's get all the important things out of the way first that I've been told to say. TriGGeR is the best player in the world. He is the future. He is very, 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 very handsome. And he is going to be everything that Goblin was not. Okay, done.
Goblin told you to say that?
Yes.
Wow.
I know.
Self-burn. That's rare.
I know. But it's okay, because Goblin's really good at League of Legends. And that's the first time and last time I'll ever tell him that, because I've played with him, and he's not. So, Queen's here before third. Everything very normal from Scarlett. Forced to take her third base. Here on Juggernaut, it is a Queen walking map. It's quite long, but we've seen it. Don't see a lot of Queen walking in an NA quite as much as we do in EU, with players like Lambo and stuff really making that build their own. But very safe openings for both here. Adept coming in here for TriGGeR. Oh, that was a good hiccup. I needed that. Twilight Council coming down very, very quick here for TriGGeR, actually. And I thought we might see some Clave Adepts.
That'd be really great, Grant. It really would. You know, TriGGeR needs a win. We kind of jumped straight into the game. We didn't get a chance to talk about how these players have fared so far. We're going to go to it. This is, of course, our only Group B match of the day. We had a bit of a transition yesterday. A couple of the Group A matches played a bit early, so Group B finishing up today. But yeah, Scarlett right now sitting at 2-0 in her group, up at the top of Group A, dropping one map previously to, who did she lose to? Dropping one map to Epic.
Epic, yes,
earlier. We did. That's right. And TriGGeR sitting at 1-1 right now. If TriGGeR can get the upset win here, that would be, I think, probably the biggest upset North America has seen so far, Grant. Disc beating Nina was a little surprising, but man, if TriGGeR could pick off Scarlett, that would be absolutely insane. Scarlett, that said, a huge favorite, but Disc is going for Glaive to Depths, which is a notoriously tricky build to defeat.
And unscouted by Scarlett. She came in, she saw the robo going down. So right now Scarlett has a couple of options. She's thinking, okay, is this Blink, which is less common? Is this Dark Shrines? What is this Clave Adept? Seeing the robo this early is a tell, certainly. And she is getting the Roach Warren, so I'm pretty sure she knows what she is playing against. Very nice there from Scarlett to get the information that she needs. Her creep spread already Scarlett-esque, as we expect. It's going to get going, and it is coming up from the third base aggressively towards TriGGeR, focusing on that more than connecting her bases for now. But Spine even as well. Okay, Scarlett knows exactly what she's playing against here, Creighton.
Yeah, no question. She has sniffed this out like a dog sniffing, I don't know, whatever dogs sniff, a bone?
Fire hydrants. That's an American thing, right?
Sniffing a fire. There you go. Perfect, Grant. Exactly correct.
Thank you.
And now it's Scarlett's turn to do to that fire hydrant what the dog generally does as well to TriGGeR's build, which is put it out immediately.
Yep, this is looking pretty good here in terms of defense for Scarlett so far. Of course, she cannot underestimate this at any point. Glaives has completed, and these adepts will chew through lings and queens and definitely drones quickly. But oh my god, the prison being forced away here. This does mean the queens are out of the fight, but roaches and lings just wrapping around here, and this has been, as you said, completely put out. Great defense from Scarlett off of just seeing the robo. Queen's a little bit out of position though. This is a problem because this push is of course going to gain in strength as more and more adepts join the fray. It's just as the roach number grows, so it's going to be so difficult here for TriGGeR to stand and fight, because the roaches just are so tanky and dish out just about enough DPS when you have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to one shot an adept.
Very smart, though, by TriGGeR. I think a lesser Protoss player may have committed to that last shade and tried to go in to get more damage. TriGGeR instead is just going to put his gun in the holster and walk away from this duel and say, not today. Yeah. I'm not going to die today. Of course, the danger is that the Protoss player overcommits, Grant. They lose all of their adepts, and then they're looking down the barrel of 37 roaches that were made in defense, and there's nothing they can do about it. As it is, TriGGeR saves a little bit of his army supply to keep it back home for now, saves all those adepts, and is still stuck on 2 bases, though. Probably would love a third very soon.
Yeah. 6 minutes in as a Protoss player, if you don't have a third, you are a little frustrated. But TriGGeR knows right now he has to get some better army out to deal with the roaches, so he is going for, I imagine, a second immortal before a third base. Very safe here from TriGGeR, getting +1 as well. Wants to take that third base. One Ling going to be frustrating. Stalkers should come to save it. Ling goes down, annoying here. Now you have to send, probe goes down. Now he has to send another probe over to the third location, and guess what? Scarlett's already ready for that. She's going to get another denial on this third base, I think. Yep.
And prevent it from even going down. The probe forced to run away very quickly here. Fun fact, Runaway was Moldova's Eurovision Song Contest song in 2014. A great track featuring the invention of Epic Sax Band, the meme that was so popular.
Oh, he was on. He was back this year, right? Eurovision was this last week.
He was in their group, I think, in last year as well.
Wow.
Fun fact for all you Eurovision song enthusiasts out there, I know Harston is listening. It's great glee. That's a great song. Runaway by the Sunstroke Project.
I'm sorry, it's no Ya Ding Dong, so I'm not interested.
Third base, he's going to get saved. TriGGeR building up a fairly significant army, but 55 workers and going for a 4th base here very shortly. She's still in a good spot. Roach speed on the way, but Robo Bay down for TriGGeR.
TriGGeR's going to move probably immediately into Colossus, I would imagine here. Disruptors, of course, are pretty good, but against Lings, it can be very difficult to get those shots off. Colossus is sort of the more surefire, safe DPS behind a bunch of Stalkers and Immortals. Saying that, every time I've predicted the Robo unit, I've got it wrong, so I wouldn't be surprised if that happens again. But Scarlett's creep, as we say, it is starting to explode a little bit. Already in the middle of the map, 7 minutes in. This Immortal, okay, could have been caught there. The Prison probably would have saved it, actually, so that's not too bad. Observer here. Creep will finally be pushed back. This counterattack, though, very, very deadly. 2 adepts, even with glaives, not going to be enough to save this. And this base is going to be ransacked. Might even need to recall.
You're waiting until that Nexus is finished if he wants to do a fast warp in, meanwhile engaging on the other side of the map as well. Corrosive Bile zoning TriGGeR out for just a little while. The Ling's not part of this fight, but that's okay because Scarlett has a massive
army. Yeah, the army is absolutely huge. No upgrades on this army, but also TriGGeR's upgrades not kicking in until 7, 6, 5. The Spine as well, just offering constant DPS. It hits bloody hard, softening up these Protoss units so the Roaches and the Ravagers can finish it up. Finally, that push was pushed back with a few more adepts coming in. Oh my gosh, nice save. All right, Goblin. Saving these Immortals. I get what he was saying now. The Immortals trading as well as they possibly can, but now the Prison does survive, saves an Immortal as well. There's so much Zerg left over there. 34 to 84 army supply, and that number rising with 10 more Roaches in production. And what is TriGGeR producing right now? Nothing. TriGGeR isn't producing much at all. He's trying to bring the rest of his army here. He needs to save these Immortals. They are the bread and butter here. They are everything that TriGGeR has. Nice job.
Yeah, very dangerous there. Very dangerous. Good saves by TriGGeR, but I don't think they can keep this up forever. I like the overcharge in the shield battery. It's being forced out, but Scarlett's just going to take the battery down and probably into the full the army to keep fighting this. Now, the Immortals are staying alive for an awful long time. They're like the 1960s, but good saves by TriGGeR. And Scarlett's army is getting windowed down a little bit, but look at behind this. Scarlett has a Spire coming down. 9 more roaches. Base for TriGGeR is going to get ransacked.
Yeah, and TriGGeR is trying to go into Colossus. He doesn't even have Blink to deal with the eventual muta switch. And Scarlett, at this point, she's taken her gases on her third and will be saturating them. Her 4th base is down. Of course, late. Scarlett played a very aggressive build. TriGGeR's defense was incredible, but I don't think he's ready for the next stage. And he loses his 3rd base. So let's go from incredible to very good. Let's downgrade this. He went from a B to like a C+. Juggling the Immortals, though, A+. He did a great job with that.
Grant, I love casting a match where the player's name is TriGGeR because I can hear your West Country accent coming out every time. TriGGeR. It's every time. Every time.
TriGGeR going down shops, get pasty.
Bloody nice. Bloody nice from TriGGeR.
Get on.
Anyway, that's all I can hear every time.
Yeah, I try to hide it.
Coming out from Scarlett now, but she's on 5 bases. TriGGeR rebuilding that 12 o'clock 3rd base. And man, he's got one Colossus on the field, but just the one Grant. Second Colossus not coming out in favor of a Disruptor, but the Mutas are here. And what does TriGGeR have? Yeah, he knows it. GG. Scarlett cancels the third base, or gets to cancel the third base again, and TriGGeR drops game one. Scarlett takes the win.
You've just ruined his name forever.
TriGGeR.
I will now never say his name again, ever. I'm not going to call him Blue Protoss. I'm going to do Tasteless. I'm just going to call him Protoss.
That's fair. That's fair. You know,
TriGGeR.
that's actually a real name in America. Like some people name their children TriGGeR.
Bugger off.
I'm 100%. It's like, I think it's a Midwestern-y, like we love guns kind of thing. But I do know children named TriGGeR.
I don't like guns. Sorry. Oh god, we're in NA. I can't say that.
Yeah, you're on NA. You gotta be careful. It's just wild. I wouldn't think people would name their kid that, but now then the actual Protoss player TriGGeR. It's like, no, it's a good name. It's a good name.
Is that his real name? No, that's not his real
I
name.
don't think so. I don't think
I'm
so.
gonna look.
I was gonna say I can check it out if you want.
No, I'm on it. TriGGeR StarCraft.
I'll beat you to it. Nope. Oh, he's got no name on Wikipedia.
A man of mystery.
Name, no age, and he's the #2 ranked player in EPT for NA. What?
With 5 points, Graham.
Yeah, that's insane. That's
that
insane.
Means
I had
in
no
the
idea.
one cup, he got some points.
So TriGGeR is like the NA version of Max Pax, where we don't know his name, we don't know where he's from, we don't know
where Max Pax is from. He's Danish. Max Pax is Danish.
But not where in Denmark. We don't know where in the Canadian is from either. So there's a lot of mystery around some of these younger players in StarCraft, which is very exciting. One of the weird silver linings of having no offline events this year is that we have a couple players where we're just like, ooh, I don't know who he looks like, or don't know what he's like. It's very cool.
And speaking of the man of mystery, the player in the bottom left, no name, no age, no location. He is the blue Protoss player representing Alpha X. It's TriGGeR.
TriGGeR's opponent in the top right-hand side, a woman who needs no introduction.
No.
Representing the Shopify Rebellion, she is Scarlett.
Absolute legend.
Yep, no question about it. Been playing for, I think, the entire lifespan of the game, rising to initial popularity during Heart of the Swarm, known for her creep spread, known for her matches against the high-tier Korean players, and of course playing in the GSL over and over and over again, sharpening her blade against the whetstone of the GSL. She is truly a Canadian Ninja Warrior.
I'd love to see her on the Ninja Warrior tour too.
I'd love to see a show called Canadian Ninja Warrior, and instead of being like all action-packed courses, it's like you gotta chug a bottle of syrup and then fight a Mountie, and then I don't know, do other stereotypical racist Canadian thing here.
Apologize?
Like, I'd love that.
A lot?
Yeah, that's right. Accidentally like trip over someone that apologized until they're satisfied with the apology. Eat poutine in great quantities.
Oh no, okay. Secret time with Grant, SC2. A daily occurrence here. I really don't like gravy, and the thought of of any kind, and the thought of gravy with cheese together, like, I already feel a little sick. I've been feeling a little unwell this evening. That makes me actually want a bath.
Wow. Well, I will not mention it anymore then.
No. TriGGeR.
TriGGeR. It's impossible not to enjoy it, because every time you say it, it sounds like you're a 14-year-old girl who's like expressing disapproval. TriGGeR. Oh.
TriGGeR is so totally not fetch-like.
Fetch-like. Oh.
Bloody hell. I could cast the old bloody thing in Cornish accent if you want me to, Creighton.
Oh, you're going to go full Cornish. I was just doing West Country. If you're going to go full Cornish.
Yeah, well, that's where I'm from. So, well, that's where I grew up. So.
I didn't know you were from Cornland.
Cornland, yeah. Yeah, I grew up in Cornwall. I spent 20 years of my life there, unfortunately.
That's right, because you have strong opinions on cream teas.
Oh, I have very strong opinions on cream teas.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I know you're gonna get. You're already feeling a little.
I'll get fired up.
If I tell you about cream teas, you're gonna get all cranky. We got a very early start date from TriGGeR once again.
TriGGeR. You've ruined it. Yeah, so very early Stargate once again. Well, it's not once again, because we did go for the Glaver deck push. That didn't really work in game one. So back to basics here for TriGGeR. Going to be most likely going for a Void Ray. That's very much the North American norm, I imagine. Oracles for the more old school players. Void Rays for the newer ones. Maybe Phoenixes. He's a Goblin fan. Nope. Or he's a Goblin friend. Void Ray is the option here. Oh my god, that was a good hiccup. And Warp Gate coming in, second gateway coming down to complete the wall here. Everything normal. Scarlett getting her third base. Is that after her third and fourth queen? No. As it is nearly completed, normal timing. everything looking good to go to the mid game.
Yeah, it's just great, man. Another nice mid-game push. Again, you know, Scarlett probably favored in this series. She's 2-0 in the group right now, and TriGGeR is sort of the new aggressive Protoss player trying to make a name for himself. But I love the fact that we've got the mid-game potential here with two players. You know, anytime I see a new player on the circuit, I'm always worried that their first couple matches are either going to be one of two things. One, them being a little bit worried about playing against bigger name players and doing sort of cheesy builds, or two, the mainstream experienced players not showing them much respect and going like, you're not very good. I can just take you out with a 12 pool or whatever. So it's nice to see both these players going for a bit of a mid-game push, and I really like that. Scarlett's going Roaches again, but TriGGeR has actually gone for 2, make it 3 Void Rays, Grant. We should see a second Stargate popping down here any minute.
I mean, yeah, TriGGeR's been a little bit of a rat here, and like the rat king he is, going to be making a whole bunch of Void Rays. We said he's a Goblin fan, so that's nice to see. Very, very excited, and second Stargate, as you said, Creighton, coming down. This is going to be pure Stargate play. Scarlett hasn't identified this yet either. She actually hasn't scouted the main whatsoever, so really has no idea, and I'm interested to see how she handles this going forward. We do see she's getting her lair tech now. She's going to get a whole bunch of drones, a couple of overlords pushed out too. Her creep spread is already good in the early game. It's she starts as she means goes on, right? And Stargate actually does kind of struggle, Void Race specifically, to push back the creep. They move around pretty slowly and creep spreads pretty quickly, and unless you camp on top of it, Scarlett's going to have pretty free range. She will be making probably quite a few queens too. She's got 8 already, so probably doesn't need to make too many more here. But this is +1 air weapons too. This is going to be interesting to see if TriGGeR is going to be allowed to go up to the Golden Armada, or if Scarlett's just going to hit a big Hydra timing, because that's where this is scary. Massive Hydra timings.
Definitely. Scarlett has all these queens very well distributed, by the way. 4 in the main base here, going to drive away any Void Rays. She's also got a few over at the 3 over at the third base, and the natural well tucked between those 2. And the 4th base already on the way for Scarlett. I think she knows what's going on. She's seen a few Void Rays with her scouting lings at the 3rd base. Maybe hasn't put everything together yet, but she should know now that her creep has seen the Void Ray sharking around. It's going to be Void Rays, and as you said, Grant, Hydra is going to be a very optimal choice against this. Interestingly, Scarlett going for Overlord speed and for Roach speed for the Spire behind it. As soon as she sees the 4 Void Rays, all
energy on these queens. All of these queens are very low energy, actually. Now she brings the few that does have a little bit more, and we'll be able to get those transfuses out. All Void Rays live, but take a lot of damage. The queens as well, of course. One of them's exceptionally low. The rest of them pretty healthy, doing a good job here. We'll rebuild that energy. Infestation Pit Spire. A whole bunch of gateways, though, for TriGGeR, as he looks to move into a gateway-based army. He's going to get Storm. Yep. A whole bunch of High Templars. He's had 6 gases for a long time. Doesn't have much gas in the bank now, as he has just walked in a few High Templars, and the Void Rays have been expensive. But what TriGGeR will do now is he will look to build a bunch of Zealots to save up gas, and just go from here into Zealot, Archon, and go for a big push, and hope that Scarlett transitions too heavily into that air tech.
Yeah, exactly. What he's hoping right now is that Scarlett's going to see these Void Rays and expect 5, 10, 15, 20 more on the field. Scarlett then is going to panic and go straight for Corruptors, which do okay against Void Rays, but not great, you know? And if she does that, she's going to get caught with her pants around her ankles, completely unprepared for the attack that TriGGeR is going to put forward, which is going to be this mass gateway, big Archon Phoenix push behind this. Charge lot Archon with Phoenix behind this, and already double Phoenix coming out. Archon's coming out. Storm about to be finished here. Scarlett making 10 roaches, though, playing very, very cool. She's like the submarine captain, the American submarine captain, when she meets Captain Marco Ramius in the Hunt for Red October.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
Very cool.
I knew it was coming. For those that have maybe just joined and haven't listened to a lot of us, every cast for the last year and a half me and Creighton have done together, he has brought up the fact that I have not seen the Hunt for Red October, and then managed to like slide a reference in. And I refuse to watch it now just out of principle, just because I'm a petty little child and he keeps talking about it.
Do you guys can chat? Can you just shame Grant? Like, chat.
Shame.
Give me a what in chat if you like the Hunt for Red October. You know what? No, chat. Type your favorite Hunt for Red October quote in chat, just to tell Grant how dumb he's being for missing this almost greatest submarine movie of all time.
Oh, yes, of the 4 submarine movies that exist. Phoenix is going to be annoying here, take down the Overseer, possibly nope, but the Phoenix is going to be great for lifting up Queens, taking them out of the fray, and all of the Zealots and stuff are working as a nice buffer for now. They will keep a TriGGeR safe, but the real focus right now for our Protoss player is that Fleet Bacon, getting it on the griddle. He wants to move into Golden Armada, does get the cancel on this base, and if he can save all of the Void Rays too, which is looking highly likely, very nice move out here from TriGGeR. He's got 79 workers, which is phenomenal, and the Golden Armada, the carrier production has begun. TriGGeR, I say it once, I say it again, is in squeaky bum time. He needs to survive about 3 minutes without taking big damage, because once he gets 4 to 6 carriers, it becomes very difficult for Scarlett to deal with the army.
The problem is going to be that Scarlett has not been over-investing in anything.
Oh, shit.
Look at her upgrades right now. She's got Neuroparasite and Pathogen Glands. She's got both Chitinous Plating and Anabolic Synthesis queued up for her Ultralisks. She's got +1 Flyer Attack. She's got Burrow, +3 Melee, the Adrenal Glands for her Zerglings, and a second Spire popping up for Greater Spire. She is literally prepared for everything. She has every random upgrade of the game, Grant, and she will be able to transition beautifully because she's on 5 bases now. She'll be able to start pumping her income up very high, and I think Scarlett's going to be in good position to field a good ground army while TriGGeR is working on getting a few more carriers.
Yeah, I like to see Scarlett right now trying to abuse the immobility here of TriGGeR's army. The Void Rays with Flux Veins are pretty quick, but of course carriers exceptionally slow. My concern though, once again, is that 3 carriers are out, 3 more on the way. The next one already halfway done, +2 air weapons on the way. Scarlett right now is sitting at 7 Corruptors, but it's not that many. The Void Ray count is still sitting at 4. Would like to see maybe a few more Void Rays once we hit that magic number of Corruptors. And this is TriGGeR's army is getting exceptional. He doesn't want to be losing Void Rays and Phoenixes early though. If you can use the Phoenixes especially to take down things like the Vipers, that would be phenomenal. We do see some big clouds coming down here doing a lot of damage. The High Templars firing their 1 DPS beams as well. I'm helping, killing off a few of these units. Let's see if any of these High Templars have kills. Nope.
I don't see any. I'd be very surprised, Grant. The good news is the Templar, as you said, plenty of energy here for the Storms, and Scarlett defending fairly well. She's already got a lot of static defense up, and this game looks like it might go fairly long. A fungal growth of the Infestor saves itself. Gets the transfuse from the Queen and burrows.
Yeah,
Scarlett, unbelievable, beautiful stuff there to save the 1 Infestor. I love little plays like that, Grant. Just makes me so happy.
There's so many quotes from a movie that is overrated in chat right now, and it's awful. Okay, the carrier production continues to grow massively. The Corruptor count isn't great. The Void Ray count has been limited. TriGGeR is up now at 8 carriers. At this point, I think he probably needs to either start adding on some Tempest. Oh, some nice feedbacks and a Storm there as well. This High Templar sacrifices itself to really weaken these Queens. The Storm didn't really do too much in the end, of course, but Queen Energy is going to be nice for stopping Corruptors and things from getting transfused, as well as Infestors and stuff like that, and creep spread, just limiting all of that. Scarlett's creep spread is, I mean, it's Scarlett, right? This is exactly what we expect. She is 3/4 of the way across the map now. It's going to be very difficult for TriGGeR to ever move out of his sort of third of the map, his bottom third, into the middle here. But again, when all is said and done, his army is going to be excellently terrifying. Wow, he didn't get Flux Veins. I thought he did. That's very late.
Yeah, just starting Flux Veins now, and that's bad. That's like bad news for Scarlett, right? Because she's got plenty of Corruptors in her army, right? And frankly, some things in Scarlett's army don't respond well to Flux Veins Void Rage. It's all these carriers can be very dangerous. Storm's actually both missing there. Scarlett dipping into one of the Storms, dipping a second one as well. That's really rough. But yoinks on those carriers. The Corruptors finally getting what they needed done, and of course these Ultralisks on the bottom soaking up a ton of the damage from those carriers. That's actually a decent trade for Scarlett there, who takes out 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 carriers. Grant.
Yeah, that's higher than I can count, Great and Austin, because I am from the West Country. This Ling counterattack doesn't look like it will get a huge amount done, but these Adrenal Lands, these cracklings tearing through the cannons, doing a lot of damage here and softening or reducing the space's static defense, so that if Scarlett wants to hit it again in the next moment or so, she'll be able to do so relatively unabashed here. We see +2 weapons and a Greater Spire on the way. The Greater Spire, it's a nice thing to have in the back, but of course when you're seeing carriers, Void Rays, possibly Tempests coming out, it's not going to be the most useful to have Broodlords that can only shoot at the ground. A bunch of Zealots run into a bunch of Banelings and disappear. It's a magic trick by that Copperfield bloke. Loads more banelings on the way as well. I'm still a little bit worried. The corruptor count is only at 13. There's only 3 Vipers, 2 Infestors, and 6 Carriers are out, 8 Void Rays are out. The Void Ray number is scary. I would like a couple of Tempests added to siege away at the static defense. I think that's what TriGGeR is missing right now. And he adds them as I'm speaking. God, I've got like psychokinetic powers.
It's like you got a 5th sense, Grant. It's like you have ESPN or something. It's really impressive.
I am ESPN.
Grant, that's how I know you're tired, is that you don't get a Mean Girls reference at the end of a cast. I'm so sorry for keeping you up past 1:30 p.m. or whatever, 1:30 a.m. or whatever stupid time it is in the UK. But I'm glad you're still with me here. This is going to be one of those explosive PvZ finishes, Grant, where it's just going to be down to who's going to get their spells cast correctly, who's going to be caught out of position. And really, at this point, the unit compositions matter more than almost anything else. So take a look at that unit counting station with the U tab there. As you said, a couple extra Tempests getting added on. They do not have the tectonic destabilizers upgrade yet that does extra damage to the buildings, but that's okay because I was going to say Scarlett hasn't built too many Spinecrawler forests, but they definitely need the tectonic destabilizers upgrade very soon as Scarlett moves those Spore Crawlers out very aggressively in the map. It's actually going to be difficult for her.
Did she just make an S? She just write an S for Scarlett and Spore Crawlers?
You're kidding me. That's the most baller move I've ever seen in my life, Grant.
Oh my god, it's intended to. She's fixing it. She's fixing it.
Sweet God, that's beautiful. That's incredible. What a Giga Chad Scarlett is, including because this Ling run by is going to be really good, Grant. As we get into the later stages of the game, this is going to be gorgeous. It's going to be gorgeous. 11, 12, 13. Lucky 13 kills. And they even right with the main base to get a full scout and to pick off a couple more probes. Beautifully done.
Yeah. DTs are going to slowly chop away, but these cracklings make Lings disappear. More magic tricks here from Scarlett, who is now 75 to 57 workers. Now, the most important thing to look at right now is the banks. TriGGeR doesn't have a lot of minerals in the bank. He's going to struggle to really get those two, especially when he uses 33 probes like that, 34 probes like that, as the banelings explodinate here on this forward nexus, and that was all from softening it up to pick up earlier. That's a very, very good job. The banelings exploding on the DTs. These ultras chewing away at a nexus, just smashing the big old tusks into it, and now we see TriGGeR is going to move forward into the S of the static defense. Just absolutely, it's so difficult to push into this.
This is Scarlett's Hulk moment. If you destroy the S, she gets really angry and hulks out, and now she's just going to go for it. Luckily, tectonic destabilizers is coming down for TriGGeR, so those Tempest will do even more damage. Unfortunately for him, he's got such a slow-moving army that Scarlett is going to be able to absolutely destroy not just the 5th base, but probably the rest of the natural as well, and possibly up into the main for additional infrastructure damage. If that's what Scarlett's looking for, she can easily pick off this fleet beacon and stop carriers and Tempest with a Ling run by. Even though there are a lot of photon cannons here, this is still a very realistic push from Scarlett.
Yeah, I mean, when you have cracklings and play the free Lings with, they are free, I imagine as well. Yeah, free Lings with Adrenal Glands. I think it only takes them 4 or 5 to take out a cannon. It's a lot quicker than you would anticipate. They just decimate, and when you have an Ultralisk, a big space cow behind backing you up, this is starting to get very, very scary here for TriGGeR. He is in a world of trouble, but his army is still extraordinary. It is a well upgraded in terms of air upgrades. He has +3. There's no armor upgrade for his air, so it's a squishy glass cannon unit. If he can catch Scarlett outside of the static defense, which I think is unlikely, he could definitely win the fight. The Broodlord's now sieging away at TriGGeR's base as well, his forward base, and he's got a lot of batteries here, sure, but this is going to be a long old slog here for TriGGeR. He needs to break down all the static defense, and he does have tectonic destabilizers to do so. Then he needs to beat the army. Meanwhile, he's not really mining, so he can't lose any units like this. Storms, good start. But this is
a lot of width.
A lot of ifs right now.
A lot of width storms. Those corruptors are still mostly 3/4 health or so. I'll be honest, I'm mostly just trying to see what designs Scarlett is making with her Spore Crawler from now on. A nice fungal, though. Unfortunately, no secondary fungal or a parasitic bomb to finish up. There it is. The combo goes down. And parasitic bomb. That's going to take out an absolute crap ton of Void Rays, Grant, and that's actually beautiful for Scarlett. Once this is over, we got to pop up with the battle report to see how things are going, but Scarlett has too many corruptors. She's just going to finish this out right here, right now, on her terms.
Yeah, Scarlett right now has killed 3 times the amount of gas that she has taken in damage. The corruptors trying desperately to break the recall, but GG, Scarlett takes a series, and Scarlett goes through undefeated so far, I believe.